I am going to go out and exercise soon. But before that, I'm gonna talk to you guys. So, why you lost your spark. We see it everywhere, more so especially in artists. You can see this happening with pop stars. Adele, she takes a break for 4 years every time after releasing a really good album. And artists who reach the top also suddenly go silent. Some may call it losing your spark or burnout, but what if it's actually just your soul refusing to repeat a version of itself that no longer exists? I've experienced this myself, and quite recently I came to a realization. I used to make songs, and I even posted like covers and originals on this channel. I started like profusely being productive and in songwriting at the start of COVID. It was during my college years. So it was from probably 2021 throughout 2024. And then it eventually came to a halt. There's a reason why I'm making this video, partly for my own understanding. What once came naturally to me started to feel like I was forcing it out, especially when there were other people telling me to, do something creative or make a song. Like, why don't you sing anymore? I don't see you post. Once I started hearing those comments, it felt like, oh my god, should I do this? Because it felt like everyone else was telling me to do it and I had to listen. I even thought like maybe I have writer's block, because when I forced myself to write, I swear I have never written such a shitty song. I was like, oh my god, am I that bad at writing songs? Like, have I become that bad? Am I facing like a writer's block, or am I just not creative anymore? Do I not have anything to say? But that wasn't the case. I was experiencing a lot of things throughout the past year. My first time into corporate, my first time away from my parents, my first time in a city all alone. So I was definitely going through a lot. I was meeting a lot of people, I was observing a lot of people, different people. I was in charge of a lot of things. I had to get stuff done as well. So if anything, I had a lot to say. But my thoughts no longer matched the purpose of music. It took me a long time to understand this, and I'll explain later, but my body was just refusing to accept that something that I loved so dearly, a habit or a passion that I loved so dearly, was no longer my cup of tea. It had served its time, and it was time to look forward. What I meant by my thoughts no longer aligning with the purpose of music, or at least the commercial purpose of music, is that music is designed to completely move people, whether it's celebrating something, mourning something, or escaping something. It's often used as a tool. That's why it makes us dance like children, and it makes us cry like children. It makes us sulk in our feelings. My thoughts started to become too connected to reality. I observed there were times where like I would be crying, and I would start crying for like maybe 5 seconds, and then I would just stop. And it felt odd at first. I was like, damn, like, why am I felt like I was forcing myself to like just not feel, but it wasn't that. It was just that my body was literally tired of that response. I didn't like reacting that way anymore. So my personality changed to just accepting things as they were. So I would only change things that were in my control, and anything that wasn't in my control, I would simply ignore it. I had grown out of the phase where I would go with the flow because it was either less lonely or it was more easy for me to be that way. It felt more comfortable. Or even my teenage phase where I wanted to feel every strong emotion so vividly. I almost got addicted to that constant loop of angst. But yeah, I had grown out of that. I also didn't want to give myself a hit of dopamine or a feeling of accomplishment just because of a song, like just because of a Bruno Mars song. Even like if I did accomplish something, I didn't want to relive it to kind of congratulate myself. Especially if the accomplishment is already over. I didn't want to repeat that. Even if I recall my like 3 most productive years of songwriting, I don't believe I spent more than like 1 or 2 songwriting sessions on a particular song. I would just feel the things in the moment and write about it in the moment and then move on. Maybe I spent a little bit of time to publish it, so I would have to sort of go back to that song and make certain changes, but I really wanted to get it over with fast. Even now, I don't listen to my old songs, and I mean, I can remember it if you tell me to right now. If you ask me when's the last time I heard it, it was probably the time I put it out. In my particular case of music, there is a few negative aspects to it. If you take Adele's case, she mentions that she takes like a 4-year break, and if I'm not wrong, I think she's completely taken a break now because she did mention that she's moved on to a different part of her life. But if you look at that, what she does during these 4 years is she lives life. While she's experiencing life, she's observing and looking if there's anything tragic, terrific, or emotionally moving. She's observing if those things are taking place. And only then does she note it down. Most songs in our generation, and even in the entirety of time, has always been about something extreme, whether it's positive or negative. I hate to call it dramatic, but ideally that is what gets mass attention. Those are the songs that gets the most attention. You see it in all artists as well. They crave some sort of change at most after a decade, because this is a human nature. It's a cycle of life. You'll see children saying that they can't wait for their teen years. You'll see teenagers saying they can't wait until they become an adult, and you'll see adults saying that they crave the freedom they had as a child. So it's only human nature to want change. And you even see the complete opposite, where there are creatives who force themselves into either constant sadness or hyperactivity, solely based on the hopes of making something good, and that will in turn be connected to their product's success. They genuinely believe that that is the only thing that the audience wants to hear about, something extreme. And they're right. Most of the time, when you write something extreme, you get more streams, more listens, more clicks. This is the universal truth, and it can get dark, but it doesn't have to if you choose to act on it smartly. In my particular case, that's exactly what happened to me. I had moved past it, and I chose authenticity. I even noticed myself slowly walking away from like reels or movies. Anything that you could imagine would give someone instant gratification. I wanted to earn things, whether the outcome is something tragic or rewarding. I wanted to go through that whole journey, that whole path, to get to that big realization at the plot of the movie, and hopefully it's not within 2 hours of me sitting in a cinema hall. because only then did I feel like I truly realized and learned, understood, absorbed what was in front of me and what I was experiencing at that point in my life. What I'm talking about has to do with my particular case of my passion for music, but ideally it can be applied to anything else or anyone else's story. You know, growth is not bad. Moving past certain things that you probably thought once upon a time was greatly attached to your identity, it's okay to move past that. You should accept there is some sort of change in the room. Change is inevitable. Everything else is momentary. And it's your choice to choose if you want to grow from it or if you still want to shrink into the past. And I understand that it takes time. I genuinely believe that everyone should sit in the state that they are in if they genuinely don't understand it or they still feel like they're not ready to move on. Sit in it. Sit in that puddle. Sit in that puddle until you realize it's a puddle. I'm not sure if I want to continue with music, but for now, it's not what aligns to me or comes naturally to me, so I'm choosing to let it go. I still listen to piano in the background or like some of my favorite Disney songs from time to time, but it's not as often as it used to be. And I know that that is what this channel was once about, but I'm hoping to get into a different niche now. I can't wait to see where that is, what that is, and where it will lead me. But I hope this video helped anyone that felt stuck or felt a bit like they have to cling on to their past or that their past is their current identity. I hope that just made things a little clearer, and I hope you learned something out of this.